Okay, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I'm your host, Cardin Ellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everyone. How you doing?
And today we're going to analyze a little bit of the smear tactics that we've been noticing here against Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang. And we're going to actually kind of question A, why, B, what's in it for these people, and C, go over what's getting said about the Yang gang, Andrew Yang, and pretty much how it informs this whole situation. I was taken a little bit off guard by all of this.
I definitely would say the debates really showed us, like, the gloves are off now. We know what it's going to look like. They've been writing. I mean, Andrew Yang has gotten, I can't remember where, but he was doing one of his town halls. I almost want to say it was CNN. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry about this. But they asked him basically, so same thing Tulsi Gabbard got at the debate. Oh, why do you have all these fringe right-wing followers? Like, do you endorse them? And it's such a setup, obviously gotcha question. And both of them said,
and an attempt to
not.
associate them with neo-Nazis.
Yeah, we're just going to juxtapose you and the far right and then say, there we go, discredited, thrown out. So just that's the point where, looking back after those two nights, it is clear. I mean, I've gotten pushback from people multiple ways saying exactly which network's pulling for which candidate. It's clear the 3 or 4 candidates they want and the ones they don't. I think that's what we can say is clear. And while not everyone in the media has been very unfairly covering this, there's definitely some of the more fringe activist-y ends of the media that have their pitchforks out for Yang, Gabbard, and I believe even Marianne Williamson, which is weird. I don't really fully understand why. We're going to get to that later, though.
Yeah, so we're going to go over a couple of articles here that are exposing the bias against these people. And I can't remember the quote. In fact, actually, viewership, friends, fans, we'd love it if you could find this. We actually spent about 10 minutes looking for this quote before the show, and I couldn't find it. But there's a quote by a philosopher, and I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he said, basically, let people speak, for through their words, they will manifest their soul, right? And there's also that very famous Bible verse that says, out of the abundance of our heart does our mouth speak, right? So I'm a huge fan of free speech because you let people speak and then you know exactly who they are. And I'm loving the Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard candidacies because the mainstream media can't handle them. Doesn't like that somebody that's not in their club is getting considered, and without even hearing a word they have to say, they're smearing the crap out of them as much as they can in a mainstream corporate media way. And then the progressives, who are supposedly all about love and acceptance and diversity, are going after the female Hawaiian and the immigrant Asian.
Well, I believe he's born in this country, but yeah,
children of immigrants, Asian descendants. You're right. He's not an immigrant Asian. I meant to say child of immigrants. It's absolutely crazy. But out of the abundance of their hearts will they speak. And this frustrates me. Okay, I actually get frustrated by this because I disagree vehemently with probably 90% of whatever policy proposals come out of Bernie Sanders' mouth, okay? But I will fight to the death his First Amendment rights to speak and to debate and to present his ideas, because you always need to challenge the institution, because if the institution is strong, it will always stand, okay? And so I may disagree with a lot of stances of Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard, but I'm so frustrated, especially post-2016, when you saw all the corruption of the DNC and all the corruption of the mainstream media coordinating with the DNC to steamroll Bernie Sanders, to watch it happen just all over again in 2018, and our nation just not completely wholesale reject this. Okay, we had a Tea Party, a Boston Tea Party based off like a 1% incise tax.
Well, also, one second. I want to get something that you brought up, and it's getting back to kind of the point we had where, going back to the debates, obviously one of the most controversial things to come out of the debate, Andrew Yang didn't get a lot of speaking time, but Andrew Yang claimed that they shut his mic off at points during the debate. There's been some videos that have come out. We showed them in our last video. I'll leave a link to that in the description so you guys can find it. That showed what looks very much like he is trying to speak and no sound is coming out of his microphone. I believe if you look closely, people have pointed out, you could see the nearby candidates turn as if, this person's speaking. You could hear a few points where you could almost catch him on someone else's mic. Again, I don't know if we can say 1,000%, but I'm running out of any other plausible explanation. Then the only thing I could think someone brought up, which does sound sleazy enough, is maybe his microphone. No one's microphone was turned off. we just lowered the volume to like 1%. It's not off. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only weird gotcha explanation I could see. But I want to show something that Marianne Williamson has come out and basically corroborated the story. She tweeted out, this looks like, so...
What'd she say?
This was last night, tweeted out, as much fun as I've had laughing at all the understandable, hilarious tweets about me today, the mic issue is not funny, and yes, it did happen. I tried a couple of times to jump in, and my mic was not on. Particularly wanted in on the subject of race. So we now have two people that are on the stage that night that have come out and just directly accused NBC of turning their mics off. NBC has come out in turn and essentially called them both liars, saying no one's mic was ever turned off at any point during the debate.
So first they're calling them liars, and then now they're calling them alt-right. Well, I mean, I am loving, like, please just let the media speak. Let them report on you, because their hearts will be completely manifest. Can we go to the Mother Jones article?
One of them pulled up, yeah. So just a little bit of news for anyone out there watching that is a fan of Andrew Yang. I have bad news. According to Mother Jones, you guys don't exist, or you're on the far right. So might be news to you, but according to Mother Jones over here, trolls tried to boost Yang and Williamson in online polls after the debate. Trolls on a prominent far-right message board try to launch a campaign to get other users to vote for two marginal candidates, nice, Andrew Yang and Marianne Williamson, in internet polls on who won Thursday's Democratic presidential debate. Here's the part that, if you follow this stuff closely, it's passé. Here it comes again. Users of the 4chan message board poll, infamous for its rampant sexism and racism. Yes, it is a purely unfiltered, unadulterated, awful place where anyone can post anything. That is true. It is also 99% of the time a clear smear to juxtapose a candidate's name with 4chan. Any person's name with 4chan, they support you, so you're bad. And it's always bizarre to me, this notion that a website where literally anyone can post anything, it's impossible to check who posts what, is used so often try to smear people, where it's like, look, you could literally, there is nothing stopping me from going on one of these websites, writing a bunch of awful things, and then just blaming it on someone else. Like, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but it's just so disingenuous to time and time again just use, here comes the big one, boom, 4chan, discredited. He's alt-right.
And I have to say, because the left, like, I never try and convince somebody just not to be a Democrat, all right? Sure, that'd be awesome if somebody was if more people switched to other parties out of the Democrat Party. That'd be great, okay? But more often than that, I actually just want you to be a better Democrat that regulates the action of your own party better, okay? And because the Democrats did not regulate the smearing that has now become permissible from the left for the past 20 years, it's now happening to them. The left is eating its own. Look at this. MotherJones.com, an influential left-leaning, not even left-leaning, left-pushing, shall I say.
I mean, they're pretty far out there, man. I wouldn't say this represents your average
leftist.
American.
Oh, let's just say leftist, okay? Publication, but unfortunately is influential, is literally saying of Tulsi Gabbard, the anti-war, like one of the most left people on that stage.
Well, I would not say one of the most left people. I would not say that at all.
Oh, I should say in American politics in the mainstream right now.
Just still a progressive Democrat.
Okay. Of the progressive Democrat, you're right, I shouldn't say the most left-leaning, but of the progressive Democrat, the subtext, not even the subtext, the subline of this headline is the Hawaii Democrat continues to draw support from elements of the alt-right.
Well, also, I mean,
that's what her candidacy is boiled down to.
Well, also, I really don't like. I just think it's funny to me. Like, when you write a headline, like, internet trolls are raving about Tulsi Gabbard's debate performance and they're calling her mommy. It's like, what? Like, you can't even pretend that, like, I don't have 100 and some level resent this person when you write a headline like that. That's what's weird to me. A lot of these feel like personal attacks against the candidates. Like, it's, again, internet far right thinks Hawaii rep Tulsi Gabbard stole the show. But one thing I do want to point out, which is true, but I think it's just, I might be naive here, but I'm going to open up a door and say that this could just be people maybe reading the situation differently. I agree 100%. You know what? Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard, they do have a lot of support on people who are from the right of the Democratic Party, because a lot of the stuff they advocate for isn't necessarily lockstep, tried and true. This is what the Democratic Party has been pushing for 4 or 5 years. They're pushing new ideas, and those new ideas are bringing voters from both sides of the aisle. So that is why you are going to see, for example, I believe Tulsi Gabbard won the Drudge Report poll. Yeah. And then I think Andrew Yang did very well. I mean, of course, because Drudge Report readers, people further to the right. And yeah, like someone going up there and saying, I'm going to keep the Democratic status quo the last 7 years. Why would anyone from the Republican Party say that's who I like? They like people that are Tulsi not only an outsider, but people that are pushing a new idea.
You're giving way too much benefit of the doubt to these people because
these people, they're just regular people, man.
No. This reporter, Mother Jones, I mean, I actually looked up the bio of Ali Breedland, and he literally talks about his kind of mantra is getting rid of, quote, disinformation on the internet. And then in the next article he writes, that you quoted earlier, it says trolls tried to boost Yang and Williamson in online polls after debate. In one poll, 2 semi-obscure candidates came out in first and third place, as though that's not supposed to happen. Now, first off, the reason why this is blatant, like this cannot be benefit of the doubt mistake and is just blatant intellectual dishonesty. It's the assumptive sale that the media is constantly doing. They're constantly trying to paint things in the light that they want it to be in hopes that they assumptively sell you on the idea that that's the way it is. So here they are saying, oh, the obscure candidates can't be winning the online polls because online polls. Did we not learn anything from 2016 when online poll after online poll after online poll said Donald Trump was winning? Donald Trump will win. And all the mainstream media was saying, oh, he's an obscure candidate. Oh, he's a fringe candidate. Oh, he's a celebrity candidate. Oh, he's a not take him seriously candidate. Oh, those internet polls, they're just college students taking it 20 times in a row. Trust me, a college student will take 1 poll. He's not going to take 50 polls, okay? And poll after internet poll showed Donald Trump winning. And when all of a sudden he wins at the ballot box, instead of learning this big, massive lesson and starting to either trust internet polls or else advance the science of traditional polling, they just reject it and begin
I don't think that's true. I think the internet polls also showed Hillary with like a 90% lead. I don't think it was specific to any one kind of poll. I think in general speaking, the polls were wrong.
Watch the interview between Megyn Kelly after they kind of kissed and made up after his, horrible comments about Megyn Kelly. They specifically talked about internet polls. For about 3 minutes of their interview, they talked about internet polls, and Donald Trump spoke as to why he actually trusted the internet polls more than the traditional polling, because traditional polling relies mostly on telephones, which means it's going to be a much more older demographic. All of the young people have cell phones, or else they use email addresses, or else they don't even use that anymore, and they all use texting. And the polling technology is wildly biased towards the older demographic or young people that live with a more traditionally older demographic, so it doesn't represent the electorate at large.
Well, I think it's more, it's a matter of what poll, because I want to go back to the article you're just speaking about, the Mo Jones article. And he brings up a few points that are correct. The strong performance in the Drudge poll contrasts with very low polling numbers going into the debate. Yang was at 1% in 7 polls, and Williamson didn't even score a full percent in most polls. Yang and Williamson didn't perform as well in other online polls posted on 4chan boards, including ones by NJ.com and the Washington Examiner. Still, at the time of the story's publishing, Yang was in second place in both polls. All I'm trying to bring up here is that I think what's important to keep in mind with online polls is what online poll it is. The Drudge Report polls show something that people have been following this know. People that are more center-right people are way more open to Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard than they are other Democratic candidates. The Drudge Report reflects that. It doesn't mean that the Democratic voter base feels that way. It doesn't mean everyone feels that way. But the readers of Drudge, who probably are closer to center-right to solidly on the right, they do feel that way, and we've known that. So the polls are really going to reflect the base of people being polled. And that's what you can take from them. You could say, if, MSNBC does a poll and Andrew Yang's at the bottom of it, you could say, well, maybe that's MSNBC fans and voters don't like Andrew Yang. That's the better way of reading them than this poll actually does represent everyone. This poll represents its audience.
To me, just because of how they speak, I know that these people are anti-Andrew Yang. They're shilling grifters for other candidates, and you can't go past the headline and the first 2 sentences without realizing it. Trolls tried to boost Yang and Williamson in online polls after debate. Oh, trolls? We're calling them trolls? Okay, who are these trolls? In one poll, the semi-obscure candidates come out in first and third place. So by trolls, Mother Jones means people that participate in a poll. So by participating in a poll, dear Yang Gang, dear Williamson supporter, you're now officially a troll. And you know who loves trolling? Neo-Nazis, the alt-right, those white supremacists. And what comes up after the comma in the sentence? The two semi-obscure candidates. So not only do you like a guy who's obscure, and only weirdos like obscurity, okay, come out in first and third place. How could that be? I remember a guy that did that. Abraham freaking Lincoln.
Okay, I think you've gone 50 stops past where this guy. Yes.
Look, no. Trolls on a prominent far-right message board tried to launch a campaign to get others to vote for two marginal candidates. Like this is like Russiagate on steroids.
Russiagate, dude, hold on a minute. Russiagate is, look, whoever, this article clearly doesn't have a good perspective of those two candidates. That's really as far as I would go to say. They don't like these people. You're right. They didn't pass up any opportunity to get a dig in. They probably misrepresented them. But it's not like a conspiracy. It's one article written by one person.
But Cody, look at this. Here's Ali Breland saying users of 4chan.
I don't care what this person says.
Who cares what the guy's name is?
No, I want to go something else.
Okay, can I at least let me get this off my chest? This one thing, all right? To me, it's intellectually dishonest to say that it is a troll campaign if somebody says, quote, vote for Yang in this poll. He needs to win every poll he can find. That's all you ever say when your friend starts a GoFundMe. You say, hey, everybody give $5 to this GoFundMe. We need to raise all the money we can. Oh, if my friend's in a music video contest. Oh, go vote for his music video. Okay. We need him to win the music video contest. That's not trolling. That's advocacy.
Okay, but I agree. It was a little bit unfair to say people that are fans. Because like you said, when you read that quote, it reads as a fan. But
dude, it's out of my system.
It's an article on a very, very, very particularly worldview website.
Smear.
Okay, you know what though? Listen to this one. Democratic debates help demonstrate the dubiousness of online polls. Vox jumped in on it as well. If you watch Wednesday and Thursday's Democratic debates, you perhaps came away thinking Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Julian Castro, and or Bernie Sanders' ideas were among the big winners. But if you didn't watch and later log on to the Drudge Report to get caught up, you come away with some very different conclusions. The reason why I wanted to read that paragraph right there in particular is because, yes, as I was saying, of course, if you were to read the Drudge Report poll, the candidates doing best with center-right and right-leaning voters are going to be at the top of the poll. And if you were to pull up the Vox or the NBC poll, you're probably going to see people that are more in line with standard kind of down-the-line Democratic candidates like Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren leading in those polls. Nothing about that is newsworthy to me. Nothing about that is Russiagate to me. This is just kind of the way polls work. When you ask a group of people, that's what they'll tell you.
Okay, hold on. When you say there's nothing dubious about this, no, it is totally dubious. Vox here obviously does not like Andrew Yang.
Yeah, that's unfair, but who cares?
Oh, no, hold on. I'm not here whining about fairness. I'm just trying to educate our viewers how to recognize disinformation, even if it's in the name of disinformation, okay? Vox, one of the number one sources of news for millennials online, okay, says the Democrats' debates help demonstrate the dubiousness of online polls. So the first thing they're trying to do is throw some shade and cast some doubt on online polls, when, according to the actual ultimate proof of whether or not online polls work or not, the 2016 elections, despite knowing that online polls actually work and are a lot more credible than you really want to recognize, okay, here they are throwing shade on it. Gabbard and Yang were the big winners on Drudge, at least. Okay? So to me, this just shows, by their headlines, you know exactly who they're rooting for. And Vox, CNN, Mother Jones, and all the mainstream media is not rooting for Yang and Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, why should
not
they be?
Off of merit,
why
but
just
because
they're not
anyone? They're cronies and they're corporatists.
Oh my God, stop it. Stop it. They shouldn't be rooting for anyone.
Dude, here I am. I'm not even a Democrat, and I'm the one more pissed off than you that Andrew Yang is getting the shaft?
Because I
don't carry water for this guy.
But I can brush off a few fringe publications, mean articles about him. Who cares? What's the big deal?
Okay, fine. Well, look, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too duty-driven, and I think that...
I think you're just wound up, man. I think you're wound up.
I think the process matters.
But there's nothing about this that is, like, unique to anything going on in politics. Like, yes, this is what happens. There's publications that clearly have perspective, clearly have a slant, and they write from that perspective.
It's not perspective, it's smear. There is a difference between perspective and smear.
Well, your perspective could say, I'm going to smear this person. You know, but
dude, Fox News is right-leaning but I don't see them writing smear pieces on some of these leftist candidates.
You're right. You know, they're not writing smear pieces on Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang. The candidates, as I've said multiple times, are doing the best.
Exposing that Elon Omar married her brother in order to forge immigration papers is not a smear campaign.
I don't want to get into this. What I'm saying is Fox News has written unfair things about far-left candidates they don't like. The same way left-leaning publications have written unfair news about right-leaning candidates they don't like. The same way when you go to Drudge Report, people say Andrew Yang did well, and when you go to Vox, they say something different, because yes, that is the problem we're seeing in politics today. A lot of people get so dug into the way they see things, they only read news that confirms the way they see things, and it leads to headlines like online trolls buoy a thing, and you read the quote, and the direct quote is like, come on guys, Andrew Yang needs to win as many polls as possible so he can make it to the next debate. It's like literally just enthusiastic supporters. But what I'm saying is I don't think it's this, they're not like some like evil malicious person. It's just if you view the
they're evil.
No, but if you say these are the valid thoughts and these are the invalid ones and this person's exhibiting those, you're going to say this person's like I said, Fox News, Breitbart do the same thing. I guarantee you if we had more time I could pull up articles.
If that's not the definition of malice, I don't know what the definition of malice is. Intellectually dishonestly saying things that aren't happening from a position of journalistic
people
power
can just be
malice.
Wrong sometimes. Like you could just think.
Okay, Ali Breland, if you're wrong, you're welcome to send me an email and say why you're not wrong. So anyway, we've gone too far on this.
That doesn't prove anything. Like I said, dude, people.
I'm going to take my blood pressure medication.
People have a perspective, and that's how they're going to see things always. That is probably the biggest problem we're having right now, is because there's so many different outlets.
Okay, but no,
there's so many places you can get your news from, and you can have a kind of out there extreme perspective and find a media source that enforces that perspective every day.
No, but
there's a problem we're seeing.
There's a difference between saying, I disagree with Bernie Sanders' socialist views because I've never seen an example of when socialism works. That's totally different than saying Bernie Sanders demonstrates he's a filthy, capitalist-hating, child internment camp shoving, communist. Okay, those one has malice, one is not. So I really think the how matters, and the how is what's missing in American society.
Okay, so tell me, this is a fair headline? Bernie Sanders, Americans will be delighted to pay more in taxes for healthcare and education, end quote.
Yeah, because he says stupid crap like that, and just a direct quote is not...
Stop. I literally just read a sentence from Bernie Sanders. Yeah, he says dumb crap like that. This is my point exactly, yes.
No, but
the way people
me
look
thinking
at
what he says is dumb is like a headline with just a quote in it is different than a headline.
Okay, but you got it immediately. Like you said, you immediately go, yeah, he's dumb. That's why it's there.
Look.
Just saying, man, that's the problem we're seeing. Too many people just dig in and say, Bernie Sanders is stupid. Of course that quote's dumb. Dude, to be frank, like...
No, but nobody wants to pay more taxes.
Okay, yeah, So, yes, true. I don't agree. I don't pay more taxes.
So when he says more people want to pay taxes than don't want to pay taxes and it's factually not true, then yes, I would say that is factually not true.
Okay, well, you want to know what else is factually not true? Andrew Yang and Marianne Williamson are polling at the lower portions of the thing. So it would be statistically odd for them to place at the top of internet polls. That would be weird. That is also literally a fact.
Okay, fine. Cody, you win. Like, you win because you're at the control board anyway and you could shut off my mic if you wanted to, but it's not the debates. Anyway,
be careful.
Let us know what you guys think, if we're off our rockers, if we've gone crazy, or if you really actually feel that the media is attempting to smear. My spider senses say the corporate media is smearing the small guy in this situation. So please like, subscribe, and share. Let us know what you think. We'll try and respond as soon as we can. This is Problem Solver Politics.